And good afternoon for you folks listening on the ETV Sportsnet at GoETVTires.com. It's Wednesday and another edition of ETV Extra kicks off from the campus of East Texas Baptist University. We're on the first floor of the Ornella Student Center. Students are here enjoying lunch from Subconnection and coffee from Jasmine's. Also, students out there studying as well. Interesting day in East Texas. Flooding in East Texas. A lot of folks couldn't get to work this morning, so campus was closed till 10 a.m. this morning, and classes delayed until 10 as well. But right now, we're ready to have an ETV Extra. And right off the top of the bat, we're going to talk ETBU Tiger baseball with the head coach of the Tigers, Jared Hood. And Coach Hood, I noticed when I left the office on Monday, the tarp went ahead and went on out on the field because of the rain coming.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it arrived Friday afternoon because we sure needed it the past couple of days and throughout the rest of the week, it looks like.
So when you have rains like this in East Texas, what do you do with your baseball team?
Anything we can just to stay in some kind of a rhythm and you know, just to have some kind of consistency with our workouts. You know, get the hitters in there and swing it a little bit, and the pitchers continue to throw the baseball inside and do anything we can, but you know, without getting really monotonous, you know.
Of course, this weekend you got a weekend series coming up at home as you continue to play in the American Southwest Conference. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the weekend series you had over the weekend. Won 2 out of 3 from McMurray. McMurray, a provisional member of the American Southwest Conference. So it didn't go against your conference record, but you did pick up win number 11 of the year against 4 losses. And it was just, for a baseball fan, it was a neat series to be part of last Friday and Saturday at Woods Field.
Yeah, you know, we continued to swing the bats. You know, fortunate enough to hit it good enough to where, you know, some balls left the yard, and then we played some good baseball. You know, the first 2 games especially. Game 3, you know, is one of those games that you have every now and then to where, you know, there's nothing really to say except for the guys from McMurray did a better job than we did in executing their defense and making plays, and their guy on the mound did a nice job and held our lineup to 3 hits for 7 innings, and you know, and that's something that not a whole lot of people have done so far this year. So, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but, you know, in the game of baseball, you learn to tip your cap. So,
of course, you're talking about that game 3 of the series when you lost 3-2. You kind of had a home run by Josh Warmington as well as Tyler Bates to put you close to him. But then you had an opportunity in the bottom of the 9th, right, where you had to unfortunately strand a runner at second base.
Yeah, we had a chance. We had a chance to win or a chance to tie and, you know, and hopefully win after that. So, and that's really all you can ask in this game is a chance to be successful and a chance to win at the end of the game. And we put ourselves in that position. Our pitching staff, Cody Pierce, gave us a strong start that game 3, kept us in it, and we had a chance to win. We just didn't get it done.
I want to talk to you about Cody Pierce. I noticed when I looked at the box score, even though he was the losing pitcher, but he had a good outing, 6.1 innings of pitching that day.
Yeah, well, anytime you give up 3 runs, you're supposed to win the ball game. You know, and he did a nice job through strikes, commanded the zone. You know, just later in the later innings, we had a couple of defensive miscues, which shouldn't hurt us, but you know, just offensively, their guy on the mound did a good job keeping us off balance and getting us out. So, but when it's all said and done, we still had a chance to win, and that's really all you can ask for. Let's
go back to game 1 against that series of McMurray. It was Friday evening, beautiful evening in East Texas. That evening to play baseball at Woods Field. You win that ball game 9-2. You have home runs from Tyler Bates, Dynas Dodd, and Josh Warmington, and you win that ball game 9-2. And let's talk about your pitcher first, Ernest Perez. Picks up his 5th win on the mound this year. Not a loss yet.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Ernest Perez. He's a kid that has overcome a lot of adversity throughout his 4 years here at ETBU. Is one of our guys that you know, has been here all 4 years. Has continued to work, continued to get better, and he's the tip of our spear right now. I mean, he is absolutely leading this team and giving us a chance every time he takes the mound. And I'm so proud of that kid. He's doing such a good job and you know, and solidifying our pitching staff.
Now, wasn't able to go the distance in the 9-inning game. He pitched 7 innings, but you got a good, strong relief from Chad Boudreau. Talk about his performance in that game coming as a relief pitcher, because it takes a special mindset to be a relief pitcher to come in to close the game.
He did exactly what we needed him to do. He came in, commanded the zone, challenged their hitters, forced them to put the ball in play and for us to make defensive plays behind him. So as a guy out of the pen, especially with the lead, you try not to be too fine. You just want to go in there and dare their guys to hit it, and that's exactly what he did. So he definitely did his job coming out of the pen.
Talking Tiger baseball here on the ETBU Extra, broadcasting live from the Student Center on the campus of ETBU. We already talked about Game 1 of that series against McMurray, which they won 9-2. We talked about Game 3, which they lost 3-2. Now, the game in the middle was a game in which you win 7-2, and Josh Warrington with a grand slam in that ball game. He'll be our guest here in just a moment. It's always cool to be at the park when someone on your team hits a grand slam.
Yeah, well, home runs have been something that we've been fortunate to do this year. In that second game, it was – up until that point, I mean, it was a tie ball game. It was a 3-2 ball game the whole time. We had done some really, really good things in that game and had not a whole lot to show for it. And it's just one of those games you just keep battling. And then, Josh was able to put them away with the grand slam and really put anything out of reach for those guys. So it was a big momentum boost for us, and he got a pitch that he could handle, and he drove it out of the yard.
And, of course, one time in Major League Baseball, they said they changed the baseball windings inside, and people were saying the ball was juiced to go out of the park more. It seemed to me this year the Tigers seemed to get it out of the park more than usual. Is the ball juiced this year, Coach?
No, the ball's not juiced. The difference is, and I've told a lot of people this, is it's the fact that we have a more mature team. We have in the game of baseball, a physically mature team. We're junior heavy, senior heavy. Guys that have been in our off-season workout plans for 2 or 3 years. So physically they're maturing, but they're also maturing in the game of baseball as well. And what I mean by that is learning how to hit, how to take advantage of situations, what to look for in certain counts. And what to look for with guys on base and doing their job. And that's what we've talked about all year long is don't try to do too much. Just do whatever your job calls you to do. And whatever the game of baseball tells you to do, that's what we need done. And that's something we work on day in and day out in practice. So we've been in good counts, been in good situations, but our guys are also putting good moves on the baseball. And a lot of it has to do, tip my cap to Coach Pappas in our off-season program. Our guys have really, taken to him and his philosophy, and we're seeing the outcome of it right now. That's for sure.
Now, I want to share a conversation I heard that you had with Coach Pappas one day, and he was in the off-season, and he was talking to you about how should I, instruct your players how to take that first step when they're leading off. And I thought that was real neat that he came to you and asked you, what's the proper way to do that, and how can, as a strength coach, help them get stronger at doing that? That was pretty neat when I saw that day. Yeah,
absolutely. He's got a football background, which as a baseball coach, you're always kind of leery about that because it's different movements, different repetitions, but. My conversations with Coach Pappas this summer, it only took him about 5 minutes, and I just handed him all of my information. I was like, all right, here you go. Let's get after it. And, he sets a good environment for our guys. The intensity level is where it needs to be. Like I said, our guys are seeing the results of their hard work in this offseason.
Most definitely, because the Tigers find themselves 11-4 on the year, 2-1 in American Southwest Conference play. Let's talk about what's coming up for the Tigers as everybody else heads for spring break. You got some baseball games to play this weekend here at ETBU at Woods Field. The Tigers host the University of Texas at Dallas. 9-inning game on Friday night, beginning at 7. Doubleheader on Saturday, 1 p.m. for the first game, which is a 7-inning game on Saturday, and then a 9-inning game to finish up the series. And, of course, as we look at Texas Dallas throughout the American Southwest Conference, they always field tough teams no matter what sport they play in.
Yeah, we always match up really good with those guys. There's nothing that makes me think that this year's going to be any different. I think we hooked it up with them 6 times last year. We took 2 at third place, and then once in the conference tournament we got them, and they ended up knocking us out of the tournament. So, it's going to be a dogfight. Every time we hook it up with Dallas, it's going to be a dogfight, and we've got to prepare that way this time as well.
Now, Coach, this is kind of a logistic question because the rain is supposed to last in East Texas possibly till Friday morning. Is it a possibility that you have to move the games to Saturday and possibly Sunday if the weather doesn't cooperate?
It's a possibility. It's a definite possibility. There's a lot of water out there right now. So we'll continue to look at it, continue to evaluate, and we'll make a decision when that time comes.
Of course, if there's a different decision about the starts on Friday and Saturday, keep up with the Lady Tigers. You're going to hit me later after that. Say that. Keep up with Tiger Baseball at goetbtigers.com and, of course, also on Twitter as well. Coach, any final words before we let you go and bring one of your players on the show, Josh Warmington?
No, just continue to check in, and you know, we'll keep you posted on any changes game times.
All right, Coach Hood, good to see you again, as always, on Wednesday afternoon here in the Ornelas Student Center. As we said, Tiger baseball this weekend series against Texas Dallas. Tigers find themselves 11-4 on the year, 2-1 American Southwest Conference play. Coming up next, our guest will be Josh Warmington, a senior on this year's baseball team. And this week, he is also the American Southwest Conference Hitter of the Week, as well as being named to the D3 Baseball Team of the Week as well. Josh is our guest next on ETB Extra.